Hello, I'm Tom Mintier. NASA is preparing to put Atlantis into space. The countdown clock is running. It is under 4 minutes right now. Here you can see Atlantis as it sits on pad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. It's only the 7th time in NASA history that they have launched at night in 44 missions so far. Atlantis is making its 10th flight since its maiden voyage all the way back in 1985. The primary objective of this mission is the deployment of a $300 million defense support satellite that will be sent out into orbit from the cargo bay about 6 hours or so after the launch. And they are not really experiencing any problems outside of one minor little glitch where they had a small minor leak of the oxygen replenishment. CNN's John Zarella is at the Kennedy Space Center. John, the clock seems to be working well tonight.
That's right, Tom, and it ought to be one spectacular liftoff. It is an absolutely picture-perfect night, to use the cliche, up and down the east coast of the United States for several hundred miles. We ought to get a really good look at Atlantis as it rockets into space. It's kind of interesting, Tom. This is going to be the end of an era, actually, for NASA. This is the last flight of '91, and talking to many of the NASA officials the last few weeks, they tell us that in the years ahead, in '92 is going to be a turning point. Less manpower, less money, a streamlined shuttle program, yet 4 orbiters and more flights. We're going to be seeing a different space program in the years ahead as they try to streamline. Now, some 5 years after the accident that, of course, destroyed Challenger, they think that they can do away with much of the paperwork and redundancy that they had built into the program. So this certainly is going to be an interesting night here at the Kennedy Space Center, Tom.
Most definitely is, and we should point out this is the 6th launch and the final one of 1991. They will go into a long Christmas holiday. You can see here, this is the control room at the Kennedy Space Center where they are watching a lot of gauges and dials, making sure that all pressure remains up. The auxiliary power units started 5 minutes before scheduled liftoff. They do have about 4 extra minutes to play with there should there be a problem in the last 30 seconds or so. They can hold it and continue on. They're coming up now on 1 minute in this what was once a secret mission, a military mission. Normally when the clock started at 9 minutes, that is when they used to allow us to know when things were going on. They are now under 1 minute. Let's listen in now at the Kennedy Space Center.
That will help suppress the sound energy and the shock of the 7 million pounds of thrust produced at launch. T-minus 40 seconds and counting. T-minus 31 seconds. We have a go for auto sequence start. Atlantis' 4 redundant computers have primary control of critical functions.
20.
T-minus 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have a go for engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff of Atlantis and the 6-man crew on a Department of Defense flight.
Roger all, Atlantis. Houston now controlling. Atlantis is completely rolling over to the proper position for its climb to a 28.5 degree inclination orbit. Three main engines now throttling back to 70% as Atlantis prepares to pass through the area of maximum aerodynamic pressure. Atlantis speed is now 1,000 miles an hour, altitude 34,000 feet, downrange from Kennedy Space Center 4 nautical miles.
Atlantis, Houston, go at throttle up.
Roger, go at throttle up.
3 engines now back, operating at 104% of rated capacity. Good hydraulic systems, good electrical systems.
Atlantis, Houston, con check, UHF only.
Loud and clear, John.
You're loud and clear also.
Altitude now 127,000 feet. Atlantis speed 2,725 miles an hour. Downrange from Kennedy Space Center 25 nautical miles.
Good SRB, sir.
Roger.